It's a moment that can make any pet owner's heart sink. So today, we're going to calmly and clearly break down exactly what you need to know about chocolate toxicity in dogs. Okay, let's set the scene. It's a moment every single pet owner dreads. You walk into the kitchen, you see that telltale shredded wrapper on the floor, and your dog is looking just a little too innocent. And that one single question just floods your mind. All right, first things first, take a deep breath. Panicking doesn't help anyone, especially not your pup. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know step by step so you'll understand what's happening and exactly what to do next. So what is it about this treat that we humans love so much that's so dangerous for our best friends? Well, it all boils down to a little bit of chemistry. The big culprit here is a chemical called theobromine. It's found naturally in cocoa beans, the stuff that gives chocolate that rich flavor. Now, theobromine belongs to a family of chemicals called methylxanthines, and its most famous cousin is caffeine. And as we all know, both are pretty powerful stimulants. Yeah, the best way to think about it is like this. For a dog, eating chocolate is like chugging a super concentrated energy drink that their body has no idea how to handle. It just can't break it down properly, which sends their heart, their nervous system, pretty much their whole body into overdrive. And this right here is the absolute heart of the problem. You see, our bodies are really good at processing theobromine. We can clear about half of it out in just 2 to 3 hours. But for dogs, it's a whole different story. The half-life for them is a whopping 17.5 hours. That means it just hangs around in their system for a really, really long time, building up to toxic levels. Okay, so that naturally leads to the big question, right? The one every owner asks me. Just how much is too much? Let's figure out how we assess the actual level of danger. The most important thing to remember is that not all chocolate is the same. It's not even close. The rule of thumb is super simple. The darker and more bitter the chocolate, the more dangerous it is. Milk chocolate has a relatively low amount of theobromine, but dark chocolate, that's got a lot more. And then you get to things like baking chocolate and pure cocoa powder. They are absolutely packed with it, making them extremely toxic. So when you call your vet, and you really, really should call, we're going to ask you for 3 key pieces of information. This is what we need to figure out what's going on. First, what kind of chocolate was it? Second, do your best to guess how much is gone. And third, how much does your dog weigh? I mean, think about it. A little bit of milk chocolate might not even faze a giant Great Dane, but that exact same amount could be a huge problem for a tiny little Chihuahua. And, it's not just about the theobromine. Even if the amount isn't technically toxic, all that fat and sugar in chocolate can really upset a dog's stomach and can even trigger a very painful condition called pancreatitis. It's why even white chocolate, which has almost no theobromine, still isn't a good idea. All right, so once we have an idea of the danger level, what are we actually looking for? Knowing the warning signs is so important because it helps you know when to act. One thing that can be really scary is that symptoms don't always happen immediately. You might see some initial stuff like vomiting in the first 2 to 4 hours, but the more serious problems can take 6, even 12 hours to show up. And remember that long half-life we talked about? It means the effects of the chocolate can stick around for days. So what do you get to see first? Well, you're looking for those early signs that the stimulant is starting to take effect. Your dog might seem really agitated, restless, kind of hyper. They might be panting a lot, drinking way more water than usual, and you'll probably see some tummy upset, like vomiting or diarrhea. These are your first red flags. Okay, now listen closely. If you see any of these next signs, this has become a true life or death emergency. Things like muscle tremors, a heart that's beating way too fast or irregularly, a high temperature, seizures, or collapse. These mean a very dangerous amount of toxin has been absorbed. Don't wait. Get to an emergency vet right away. So you've made the call, you're on your way to the clinic. What actually happens next? Let's walk through what to expect, just so it's a little less scary for you. Here is your game plan. Step 1, call. Call your vet, call an emergency clinic, just call someone right away, even if your dog seems fine. Step 2, give them those 3 critical facts: the dog's weight, the chocolate type, and the amount. If you have the wrapper, that's perfect. And step 4, follow their instructions to the letter. And this last one is so important. Please do not try to make your dog vomit at home unless a veterinarian is walking you through it step by step. You can actually do more harm than good. So when you arrive, our #1 goal is what we call decontamination. If your dog just ate the chocolate, we might give them a safe injection to make them vomit it up. After that, we'll likely give them something called activated charcoal. It basically acts like a super sponge, mopping up any toxins left in the stomach. IV fluids are also key. They help support the organs and flush everything out of their system.
And of course, if we're seeing scary signs like tremors or heart issues, we have specific medications to get those under control, all while we monitor them very, very closely.
Okay, let's talk about the best part, recovery. Getting your friend back on their paws and making sure this never ever happens again.
And I really want you to hear this because it's so important. The good news, the really good news, is that when we catch this early and treat it properly, the prognosis is excellent. The vast majority of dogs who get into chocolate make a full and complete recovery. Your quick thinking makes all the difference.
Which, of course, leads us to the best treatment of all, prevention. You know the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and it has never been more true. Our dogs are sneaky, and their noses are incredible. So please keep all chocolate, candy bars, cocoa powder, everything stored safely up high in a cabinet or in a pantry they absolutely can't get into. Especially around holidays like Easter or Christmas when there's just more of it around. So, if you remember one thing from all this, it's this: stay calm, act fast, and call your vet. You are your dog's #1 advocate, and knowing what to do is your superpower. And on that note, please remember, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional veterinarian advice. If you have any concerns about your pet's health, please consult with your certified veterinarian. They are your best resource for ensuring your companion lives a long, happy, and healthy life.